Thanks everyone for joining us. My name is Mike Morgan and I'm the chair of APA-DC. APA's mission is to advocate, educate, and elevate the professional photographic community. And I just want to mention, advocacy for the industry is a really big part of what APA does. There's only a few trade organizations out there that are collectively fighting for the rights of photographers. So if you're not a member, I would strongly encourage you to join and support this industry, this the industry that supports you. So and you could reach out to us at membership@apadc.com, and also use there's a discount code DC1 for 20. I'll put all that in the chat. That'll get you $20 off of a new membership. And you can use that for any APA chapter. So we have a couple of events coming up that I want to let you know about. We've got on the 25th this month, we have a 30 minutes with Laura Chase DeFormny, who's joining us tonight. And she's an incredibly talented food photographer who she's going to be talking about some personal projects that she did for her portfolio, hiring a crew and talent and really designing some really great portfolio pieces that she sent out. So we're looking forward to talking about that. And then we have our portfolio reviews that are coming up. Those are going to be November 1st and 2nd. We're going to be opening that up next week for tickets. APA DC members first, and then we'll open it to the general APA audience, and then we'll open it up to everybody else. We've got a number of art buyers who are going to be there from a ton of different magazines: Time Magazine, People Magazine, News and World Report. Just off the top of my head, we have industry people. We've got Mars Wrigley, Lockheed Martin. We've got a ton of people set up, and I don't want to go through the whole list, but we'll be listing it all out, and also ad agencies as well. So please look out for that and keep an eye on that. I don't want to eat up too much of our time, but I just want to say we're really excited to have the Ask Stern Rep team here tonight. Andrea Stern and Rainey Vespi, and I almost feel like you need no introduction. So we've obviously we're all here because we're familiar with what tremendous advocates they've been for photographers and for helping people understand the industry and get their portfolios together. So we're very excited. Hopefully everybody here follows Ask Stern Rep on Instagram and elsewhere. And without further ado, I'm going to let them go ahead and take it away. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So hello. Today we're going to analyze the realities of photographers' portfolios. I'm Andrea Stern, photographer's representative of Stern Rep and Ask Stern Rep. Rainey Vespi, hello Rainey.
Hi.
Is the creative director of brand development at Stern Rep and Ask Stern Rep and co-owner of Ask Stern Rep Consulting, ASR Consulting. So lovely to be here with you all today. Thank you, APA DC, for having us here to examine this make it or break it topic for photographers, their portfolios. Before we say more, I have to lay some ground rules. I almost titled this The Business of Portfolios because as a rep agency, business is what we are about. We don't rep influencers, only commercial advertising photographers. So that is our point of view. When APA DC asked me to talk about this topic, I had this idea to survey our clients, seeing how they would describe what they look for in our portfolios. It turned out really well, and we have their unique descriptive concepts influencing who they hire and we want to share this with you. So we'll share a lot of that. By the way, all these survey responses can be found on downloads on asksternrep.com. So we also have an article on portfolios on the article page that could be of interest to you today. Not today, any day. Today, you'll be getting an honest peek into the Stern Rep process, how we operate managing our images to keep ourselves actively on top of today's market. The topics we will cover: how to approach maintaining a strong portfolio and what is a strong portfolio, where exactly should our portfolios be, the do's and don'ts of your website, and the do's and don'ts of portfolio reviews. We will have time for your questions at the end, so please have the questions keep coming in. Also, I'll be using the term portfolio and website interchangeably today. And so we're all clear, the types of expected portfolios are an iPad, a printed material or book, website, and Instagram. How to approach maintaining a strong portfolio and what is a strong portfolio? Let's start this off by defining a strong portfolio. What do we mean by that? Well, of course, I mean that your images are landing you jobs. Well, of course I do, but so the question is, how do we make that happen? That's the real question. Portfolio maintenance is an ongoing process, continuously requiring your creative attention, followed up by dedicated management. This is an investment in yourself with a commitment unlike other careers because it's a reflection of you. Trust me, I've seen photographers come and go, being hot on the market and then slowing down. Our business moves quickly, so we have to stay on top of this long and rewarding career that we're creating for ourselves. Understanding the ideology of a portfolio that brings in jobs is how to keep yourself on track. My definition of a good portfolio begins with seeing images that stop my attention in a positive way. These images will show me the type of clients the photographer is working with or wants to work with. The overall brand identity message is summarized in each image. I'm going to say that again. The overall brand identity message is summarized in each image and becomes even more robust and impactful in the grouping as a whole. I mean, if I just said that sentence, I feel like that sums it up to me. Clients need to know what they will get when they hire you. Our focus must be on the whole story, the message of the portfolio. Right, Rainey?
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
You agree? Anything to add to that?
I do. I mean, you just have to look like the same photographer throughout your book, right? That's kind of, you don't want to, like, you can shoot different kinds of work, but they still have to feel like you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. And we'll dive deeper into those as well. Let's understand what clients are looking for in your portfolio. I wrote this on a Wednesday Wisdom on my Ask Stern Rep. The things they're looking for: a seamless message of your style having a purpose. An emotional story, the audience is pulled into feeling, striking a chord with their brand's message. This is what they're looking for. The reassurance that their customers feel this emotion if they hire you. Really interesting to see how our clients shared their opinions about our websites. It's a survey, and Rainey, you want to share that?
Yes.
So we're going to show you a graph. I put this out there. I can't even tell you how many people, and we probably got 20 responses from different clients around the country, different things that they do, different types, some client direct, some ad agency. And this graph.
This is about tear sheets.
Maybe you want to read it, Rainey?
Yeah. So we asked them, do you want to see tear sheets and past work created for other clients in their portfolio? And then you'll see we have 77% said yes.
That's a lot.
That's yeah. And then 15% nice but not necessary, and only 8% said no. So you should have tears in your portfolio.
That's one thing for sure.
Yes. And we had a good quote here too. Not required, but nice if they have it and they're proud of it. If it fits with the work they want to be hired for. Don't just show it to say, hey, someone hired me once. You know,
Right.
so don't just have stuff in your portfolio that like if you're a lifestyle person and you did a beauty shoot, like that's going to be really confusing for clients. They're just not going to know what they can use you for.
And I guess we should make clear when we say tear sheets, some photographers have the actual tears. Some can show this was a project I worked on.
Yeah.
There's no specific way for this, but it's important to know that they want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I think is definitely having that separate projects page on your website, right? Just having it there for them. So you can have it mixed in like your overview, the images, but also having that place, boom, go to the project section and they can go, oh, look at all this stuff that relates to what I'm looking to hire for. And I found it real fast.
You know what I should throw in here is not to have an actual tear sheet on your overview mixed in with your images. Right, Rainey?
You don't like it.
No.
Yeah,
you?
unless it, I think for some people it could work, maybe.
I can't
But-
imagine.
You can't imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like to say no, 100%, because sometimes things can work.
I think it just doesn't belong. It's confusing if it's on the
Yeah.
overview. The overview is the feeling, the sense of who you are, but then the tear sheet section have the tear sheets.
But
Okay,
I think
enough about
I
tear
think it's
sheets.
good. Well, I think it's good in the project section. So if you are
Yes.
going to have a project section, it doesn't
Mhm.
have to all be tear sheets, but like it can be mixed through other shots from that shoot with
Yes.
the actual tears, so that you can see like what the images looked like what you shot, everything, and how it was actually utilized.
I'll agree to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Great.
All right, the next one.
And then these are a couple more quotes. The more, the better to understand how they shoot and the level of work they've done for previous clients. Always help to add context to the work, and then absolutely, or at least a client list. So they want to know who you're working with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
And
one.
then we got motion.
This
Everybody.
was interesting. I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised it wasn't more, but Rainey, will you read the question?
If a photographer's portfolio does not include motion, will that prevent them from being hired? So yeah, it's only, well, I think we have to recognize also that a lot of the people, they were coming from the perspective of if only if they were hiring someone for that specific purpose. So they don't need it, obviously, if the ask isn't that, if it's not actually what they're shooting that day, but you know, it's kind of coming, right? That's what we're gonna.
Well, I'll tell you why it surprised me. I don't know, more than half of the requests these days are also including motion. It's crazy. So that's why I was surprised. I thought
Yeah,
most people want that.
Yeah.
They hire a photographer, they expect some motion, whether it's GIFs or cinemagraphs or anything. It's all the time.
But look at the 31%. Not yet, but it's coming. So it might be 23% most of the time and 15% some of the time, but 31% said that they're probably going to need it in the future. So that's kind of telling as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some quotes here too, I think. As we continue to focus on social media and other forms of marketing, motion is becoming more essential, and coming up with new ways to explore that would put anyone ahead of the game. So
That's a biggie.
again, yeah.
To me,
Exactly.
my rep ears go ding, like we want to stay ahead of the game. That's
Exactly.
the whole purpose. Yeah.
All right. Is that it for right now? And I think that's it for right now. Is that it?
Okay. And then I
Mhm.
asked them, what is something you look for in a portfolio that really grabbed your attention? And these answers give us good insight on how they see it. And I'll just read a few of them. Consistent niche lighting that I can't get elsewhere. I found that really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fascinating because of course, but I found that.
But you can really see that. That's also a really specific thing when we're talking about seeing a portfolio as a whole and needing it to look like you.
Yeah.
Lighting is a huge part of it, right?
True.
Like Toby Peterson, one of our guys, that's all of his work is about beautiful, sharp lighting. And no matter what he's shooting, it always looks like a Toby image.
Right. And his work stands out because of that. I mean, he's got a lot of work because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he can shoot anything, a car, a toy, anything, and it all looks like a Toby Peterson image.
Another quote, I look for authentic voice and tone. This person feels special or brings something new. I like consistency, not gimmicks. Love that. Okay, one more. High quality images with a specific and unique point of view. The collection of images should feel at home with one another. Wow. I think, Rainey, you and I deal with this all the time and we talk about it, but those words just summarized what we're constantly looking for. So will you explain that home, it feels at home with one another, the images?
Yeah, I mean, it goes along with what we were just saying about the lighting. But it can also just be the vibe of the image. Is it a warm, like, well, let's start with the lighting. Lighting, like we can have something that's lit really soft or really hard. And if you have two images in your portfolio, like if you have a lot of images one way and a lot of images the other way, there's going to need to be a way to like make them fit together. So like, even if you're a food photographer and everything's food, if you have like some images that are lit one way and some that are lit a different way, you're going to need to figure out a way to make them work together in your portfolio.
And Rainey, you deal with this a lot with our photographers. You are constantly placing them on the Instagram feed and even in Reels. We could talk about that. And also, of course, the website. So we have photographers who do a little bit of different, I'm going to say mishmash, a little bit of a, this and that. How do you bring them together on when you're placing the images?
Yeah, I mean, when we're doing it like on our overview, it's about color, it's about perspective. Like I wouldn't want to see, and obviously we're dealing with multiple photographers on our website, so it is a little different, but you're not going to want to like have like every single image like exactly the same perspective. If it's like right here, every picture is the same one after the other. You're going to want to mix that up, and you're going to want some that are pulled back, pull in, like, you just want to you want to think of it as like a fun ride throughout anywhere that you have your portfolio. If it's a website, if it's your book, if it's an iPad, you want people to want to keep going through it.
When our photographers have different looks, which is normal, what you called it bridging. Will you show the example of bridging? Because photographers, this happens a lot. We're not stuck in one thing all the time. So how do they, as you call it, bridging them, how do you bridge them together, the images?
Yes, let me open this up. Okay, so hold on. Okay, here we go. So these are a few of our photographer Caleb Poole's images. On the left, you see, obviously, it's a really lifestyle-y, like warm, just like I feel like it's a hug of an image, right? And then on the right, it's like sharp, like, like sleek car downtown. Like how do you fit these in there, right? And then you see above, we've got the bridge image of there's like life happening, sharp car, like there's something about each side here that you can see it melding in the middle there. So if you are going to shoot kind of stylistically a bit different, this is stylistically and actually content, because one is lifestyle, one is car. And here in the bridge, we've got both. So you got it. You have to have that bridge image, because really these two images on the left and right on the bottom, without the bridge, I don't see how we could have both of those in a portfolio.
And you have another example? I
do have another. It's a similar idea, like a sleek car, and like, I mean, a girl, like, the warm image in a girl sleepy in a house, like just that, and the lighting on it is just so vastly different. And then we got kind of like that kind of, he's got kind of like a cool chill vibe in that picture on the top, whereas it kind of feels like the woman kind of chill vibe on the right. But we got the sleek car. There's just something that makes these come together as well.
So when you're consulting with photographers, and when you're doing this on Stern Rep, you're looking for some way to bring different styles together. Photographers might not have those bridging images.
Yeah.
And I know the answer to this, but what's our advice when we talk to photographers or our own people? what do we say to them?
What do we?
How do they find out what to,
Oh, they gotta
what are their
research.
bridge?
They got to research. They got to test. Is it all of them? Did I get it right?
Yeah, and also the competition. What is your
Yes.
competition? You're bidding on a job, you don't get it. Why?
Yeah, that you got to try to find out who got the job.
Yeah.
That's going to be your first step. If you can find out who got the job, and head on right over to their website and
Well, you
see
also,
what-
you know your competitors, probably.
Sure. Yes. Yes. So let's say it's people you know that are working a lot in your genre, or if you specifically know who won the job over you, hit the websites up, do your research, see who the people are that are getting hired in your genre, and see what you're missing in your portfolio. So if you notice like, oh, they have a lot of gifts, and well, I mean, obviously if the job calls for gifts and you don't have them, like that's a done deal why you didn't get the job. But even if there could just be something that you notice on their website, the lighting, again, like, because we're seeing right now, we're seeing a lot of like that hard light, that like like the deep shadows. We're seeing that so much right now. And I would say, like, if you notice that person that got the job over you, or your competitors that are working a lot, and their lighting looks kind of like that vibe, maybe that's something you should think about incorporating. And of course, also researching your clients, who you want to be working for. What does their advertising look like right now?
And that can be used as the bridging of these images, if they have different types of images happening, to make kind of what's the word?
A
through line, a streamline.
Yeah.
Just kind of sew your images together. It's one thing that disturbs me when I'm looking at a website, if it looks like different photographers.
Right.
You have to use this bridging, as we're calling it, mentality, to find a way to bridge them together. And if you can't, they might not be working for you, these images.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
The game, as I see it, is to stay on track with your look and your feel, to influence how to take it further and continuously grow. I mean, that is the purpose of your portfolio, and over time, and that's your job. So you want to just stay on track and find images that will help you do that. Find styles that you want to test more to help you hone in your own look, add to your portfolio. Yeah. Creating a mood board, that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
That can help give you an overall sense.
Yeah, like pull stuff that's inspiring you from other people, and compare it to what you've got, and start trying out new stuff.
Yeah. It's a fast moving young business, and we have to stay relevant to be getting these jobs. I mean, fresh, hot looks of today's style, like you were saying, the shadows and the hard light, depending on what you're shooting.
Of course.
It's really important to follow the trends. Not that we should always shoot the trends because they go away, but to incorporate that into your portfolio, because again, it's a business. This is a business.
Mm-hmm.
This similar question came up about having different looks and different types of clients, just like we're talking about. And it came up on my Ask Stern Rep. My answer is always keep one strong style through line between all the types of photography you do. That's the name of the game. You want to look like one photographer no matter what you're working on. I always say this thing about it, it's a stamp of your name on the image. You want people to recognize your work. They see it and they go, oh, Rainey Vespi, she shot that.
Right.
I also have this quote from APA LA president of the past, Anthony Nex. He's also a teacher and a fabulous man and a photographer and a baseball fan. When I look at another, he said to this, when I look at another photographer's book, my overriding thought is, if I gave this person a job to shoot, do I know how they would shoot it? Are their vision and style obvious and consistent, or are they all over the place? If it is the latter, they need to edit to develop and show that style and shoot more to support it. I love that. Yeah. Clients tend to be very literal, so your subject matter needs to relate to them to them, they often aren't willing or able to extrapolate that to do the work they're doing. I got lost in my own words, in Anthony's words, but I think you understood.
It's a long word, extrapolate.
It is up to the photographer to demonstrate how their style can be applied to appropriate subject matter via images in their book. Keep it fresh and test often. And he says this very well. If half of your book has older images in it, you're not working on it enough.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And
like-
that's another thing that we've come across too. Images like young people today kind of have a different vibe than young people 5 years ago. Like, so you like, even if your style is really cool, you have to kind of keep, you just got to keep understanding what the world kind of looks like and how things are being done.
And just something we said before about staying in front of the game, like you be the trendsetter.
Yeah.
I love that. I tried to do that in repping. I remember years ago, it was all printed. No, it was not printed portfolios. It became all iPads and stuff. And I thought, let's do printed books again. Now it's time for printed books again. You know, be ahead of the game. It's a part of that marketing, another topic, but yes.
Yeah.
So where exactly should our portfolios be? I mean, that is a big question today.
Mhm.
And we need to be clear about this. The key word is findable. You want to be findable, whether that's through SEO on your website or Instagram. And we will talk more about Instagram. Simple truth, our industry is changing rapidly, and we can either stick with it or get left in the dust. We used to have one book, one portfolio or on our website. Now we have to do more to show. And I know this can be tiresome and annoying, but it's a choice we have to make. We can use these multitude of options as opportunities as they do work to make us findable. To stay on top of our marketplace, we have to be active in our marketplace. We want to get hired to shoot social media. It helps to be active on social media. I said this on a reel on our Ask Stern Rep. I was very confused that photographers were not into Instagram, like they're getting tired of it. I said, I felt not angry, but I was like very heated. And I was like, wait a minute, this is the golden ticket. You get a free platform to be found. Yes, you have to engage and you have to bring in your clients and you have to comment on theirs and they'll see yours. I've been a rep for a million years. I used to walk down ad agencies' hallways with heavy books, printed portfolios. I would be so happy to get this opportunity to walk down a hallway of an ad agency and I'd wave, go in the door. Hi, it's Andrea. Hi. That was like spectacular. Oh my God, to compare it to today's opportunities and photographers are complaining about this.
Oh yes, Tracy Brown, I saw your question. Is it still relevant? I just see the first part. It is. Well, we can talk about it more.
Well, let's talk about it. What's going on? Yes.
Let me see what her full question was. I
Mhm.
feel like TikTok is so much more relevant. So she followed it up there.
Okay.
I think for advertising, they're both very relevant.
Mhm.
For sure, for advertising. And the reason I would say Instagram for photographers, it's as clear as this. You have a feed of your images, where on TikTok, it's so different. It's not a feed of your images. It's really kind of more about your personality. And it can absolutely, you can get found there for jobs too. TikTok is it's up and coming, and
I had that experience.
Yeah.
I was
Right?
temp repping a photographer. We asked on the creative call, how did you find her? And they said, TikTok. We saw you on TikTok.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
Totally.
They're being
So-
found.
Yeah, you can definitely be found, but as a portfolio, right, it's still a little confusing how you present your portfolio on a TikTok, because you really are like, unless you were to make everything your pictures, you're not really utilizing TikTok in like kind of the TikTok way. If you're just showing your images like as images on TikTok, you probably won't get a lot of reach, and that won't even be as appealing to the clients that are going to use it for TikTok. If they're going to hire you from TikTok, you have to be doing TikTok the right way. Right.
Another point to that, in comparing the two, Instagram is where our clients are. It's the only place. I mean, I have their emails. Every year or two, it's going to change. I'm going to lose
Mhm.
contact with them. So the only way to stay in touch with them is LinkedIn and Instagram, because you know where they are. They are looking every day. Every client every day, mostly, is
Yeah,
on
just
Instagram.
like anybody else's. But and so I think the thing with people when they're asking like, is it relevant? I know that they're probably asking for themselves. As a photographer, putting my work on Instagram, is it relevant? And it's relevant because they're there and it's not as easy as it used to be. And I know that that's the whole argument, is that it's not working for them. And it used to be easy. You could just post a picture and awesome. Everybody sees it, like cool, you get a bunch of likes, like you're popular because you're an awesome photographer. And we know Instagram is changing and it sucks. You have to be more proactive with it. You have to
Right.
get out there and do the work. So, but yes, it's relevant.
So
Sorry.
you got to engage. No, that's
Yes, yeah,
exactly. It's not, maybe it used to be you just sit back, you post your images. Bye.
yeah.
Yes, you got to engage. But so I always had to engage. Why is that a new concept or a challenging? Like, yeah, that's what we got to do.
Totally.
Rep opinion. I like to call it rep fact, but rep opinion. So let's see, Rainey, where are our portfolios? Will you share that with everybody? Where do we have all our portfolios?
Well, we have our website, we have a Behance, we have a Pinterest, and we obviously, we already heard Instagram, clearly. We have two Instagrams. And then some of our photographers are on Workbook and Production Paradise. Oh, sorry, we also have a Pinterest ourselves, and we have a TikTok.
Yeah.
We have
Those
two
are
TikToks
ours.
as well. Yes. TikTok, again, we're not like fully immersed, but we're dipping our toes in so that we can start understanding that world.
And I know this is maybe off topic, but you created reels that started on TikTok and brought them over to Instagram. Why did you do it that way?
I actually do it the opposite way, but it's because
Oh.
it's the same format. So if you're already making reels on Instagram, which I know we hate it, I understand it's not what we got into photography for. I think of it this way: it's just part of your marketing. It's like you got to make a promo, you got to make a reel. So that's how it is.
And the reel can
Yeah.
be a great portfolio, that's because it sits there. It's like your highlights. When clients
Yeah.
are looking for you, they can go find this section of this thing that you do. When you only shoot plants and you want to show photographers with plants, go to that reel. You can
Yeah.
make different portfolios, more
Yeah,
ways to be
absolutely.
findable.
You can do static. I see photographers now getting real creative and just putting a static image, maybe with some background music, maybe there's a little animation. So there are ways to just take your still photo and turn it into a reel so you get a little bit more reach.
Will you show the graph on Instagram?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This was interesting.
Okay.
These are the clients that we surveyed.
Yes. Okay, I don't want this one. Sorry, y'all.
I could read the quotes. One
Yeah,
of them
go for it.
is, Instagram is the place. And that's a
Yes.
client.
Okay. Sorry, these are all things, guys. Who made all this stuff. Hold on.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Here we go.
So what's the question there?
When researching a photographer's websites, how often do you follow up by checking out their Instagram feed? So we got 46% say most of the time, 15 sometimes, and 38 usually not. So you can say like 38%, like they're usually not, but like 60% is saying it happens. So if you don't have an Instagram or you're not keeping it up, what is your thing? You're always saying the first thing that you look for when you go to an Instagram account is,
when was the last post?
Yeah,
And
that's
if
always
it says
your thing, yeah.
2 years ago, I honestly lose all respect. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So just something to consider, guys. Something to consider. And then we have a few quotes here as well. I know did you read all of them already?
First one.
Okay.
I think I did.
Yeah, so then I always go to their Instagram account. The majority of the time it will vary from their rep's page of imagery or their personal website. Their IG oftentimes provides more photos or images that we may be looking for to fit the bill for the current project at hand. It also provides a great overview of images and their POV aesthetic. I'll follow up and check out an IG based on curiosity or as an easy way to stay in touch and check out their latest work. And then most often it's much more current than the website. And this is a great thing too, like when you get off it, when you're, on your portfolio reviews, get them to follow you, or at least follow that. Ask if you can follow them. If they have a private account, definitely ask. And if they don't, then I would probably just follow if they don't have a private one. I would just follow them and just start being friends. Just start being friends,
Engaging.
Yeah, because they're gonna, like, you should do it right away. Do it as soon as possible. Connect with them on LinkedIn, get them to follow your Instagram right away, so that they remember you right away, and they're going to accept it right away, and you never leave their consciousness.
I'm still baffled how some photographers are like, no, I don't want to do Instagram. What? You don't want to be found? You don't want to be seen? Ugh. That could be I'd like to go on about that.
Yeah.
We do have a TikTok graph.
Okay. Oh yeah. I mean,
Show that.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. Guys. All right. Big news. Do you suggest non-influencer photographers should up their game on TikTok to get discovered for advertising projects? So, I mean, there's no yeses. Okay. We got 0 yeses, but holy shit, 69% said maybe and 15% said neutral. I mean, that's 70% of people are saying maybe. That means that's like a kind of yes, in my opinion.
And it's getting stronger,
Yeah.
It's coming. Be there, lead the way.
And this was really interesting too, this quote that we got from the survey. TikTok is such a different creative space. From what I've seen, people that get successful on TikTok are pursued for TikTok gigs, but it doesn't necessarily translate into other creative asks like traditional photo video shoots. That being said, a lot of larger campaigns are now being styled in a TikTok manner. So it's not that it's limiting per se, but I do think it ends up being specialized. I almost wonder if in the future, instead of different categories of work, lifestyle, editorial, motion, etc., people might have their portfolios organized by platform: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, etc. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a total, I mean, but it's true though. So it's like, even if, so let's say the work is it's not for TikTok. It's like, okay, TikTok for TikTok gigs, but this person's saying a lot of larger campaigns are being styled in a TikTok manner. So if you are already shooting in that manner and understanding it, then you're ahead, and you'd be ahead in that bid at the very least.
Our clients, okay, let's say we're getting hired by ad agencies, but the client's client, the companies, they are very interested in TikTok. So
They really
if
are.
we want to be relevant to these companies, why wouldn't we be taking advantage of knowing TikTok ourselves and figuring it out and trying this, exploring this?
Yeah, because because I know that we're all image makers and we want to make still images, and that's like the passion. But when we're coming from a business perspective, you have to understand that that's where advertising is going. So if you're an advertising photographer, you need to understand how advertising is being utilized. And like, we went to like the Samsung TikTok just to see, and like Samsung is on it. They are full into TikTok. They have different.
I think every company, what company isn't,
Sure. No, you're totally right, because they're behind if they're not. As a brand, they are behind if they're not. So as photographers working in advertising, I mean, what does that say? To me, that says we should know, and we should be looking towards how we can get in there. And the younger that the ad people become, like that the Gen Zs get in those jobs, that it's going to be more and more prevalent.
We have to stay on top of the market. And if the top of the market is places like Instagram and TikTok, I mean, I get it that personally, that's not maybe where we want to spend our time, but you are running a business. Right. And if you're telling the business that you're in, no, I rather not, I'm too busy there, that's annoying, you're in this business. You want to be in this business, you have to fully be in it and take
Yeah.
these opportunities. They're here for us. Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna close that one.
like a preacher. All right.
But
So the do's and
we
don'ts.
get it. You don't like TikTok. We get it. I just want to make it clear. We get it. You don't like it.
I mean, I don't like it either, but
Yeah.
it's the business. The do's and don'ts of the website. Let's look at that. So we made a
Okay.
list of every do's and don'ts for your website to get specific on what should be happening.
Okay, here we go.
And the do's, I will read. Use a professional designer. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't even have to say it. This will turn clients off. Maybe the biggest thing that can turn clients off. Use a designer. Be a professional. Show job tear sheets. Have a motion section. Have a simple navigation of organized categories. Needs to be simple and quick. Have a static top bar on your website to always remind clients whose site they are on. Does everyone know what static bar is? Because I do. And I know when I'm on a site and it doesn't, I feel like something's wrong with it. I feel bad, like I'm judging everyone, but I'm just being honest with my judgments. Consider my 2 to 3 second rule. That's how much time we have to make an immediate impact. Have an easy to find link to Instagram in one place. Have a biopic of yourself and mention your location. Keep it simple. That's what they want. They want websites that are simple. Have a personal projects section if they relate to your professional projects. So a personal projects category, if it relates. If it doesn't, if you shoot food and you want to show people's headshots, no, you don't put it on there. You don't mix them up. Have an overview. Assume clients will only see your homepage overview. I bet 88% clients will only go to the overview most of the time. They're not going to click to go further. Make that overview strong. Show recent and strong images first on the overview. Have at least 4 scrolls down on the overview page. It's like a red flag to me. If I'm looking at a photographer and they only have 2 scrolls and it ends, like, oh, they don't have much to show. They don't have much of a career going on. That's what I'm thinking. I prefer vertical, up and down scrolling only, not side to side. Have motion interspersed into your project section. What I mean by that is in the project section, I can also show motion. Here's some cinemagraphs. Here's some stop motion. Here's some GIFs. It's all a mix. Here's some video. Have them in there. Make images draggable for clients to use them quickly in their comps. I have had clients come to me saying, we want to be showing your photographer's work for this job. We're making this PDF to send the client, but I can't drag them off the site. I know there's lots of feedback on that one, but I do believe let's make this easy for clients, draggable. Keep track of older images as they will have your work look dated. We look dated really quickly in this industry. We talk a lot about ageism. I don't think it is ageism. I think it's datism. I don't know if that's the word, but we get dated quickly. It moves fast and we have to stay on it. The don'ts. Don't have confusing categories where you will lose your viewers. Like if you have a word that is odd, you sometimes lose it. And I wonder if it affects your SEO when you have odd words that maybe a little creative, but you're going to slow it down for people. Have no bright color backgrounds competing with the images. They want it simple. I mixed that up. Don't have inconsistent framing. We've seen this on Instagram, right, Rainey? A lot of that inconsistent framing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It just looks confusing, and that you're not being thoughtful. Right?
And unprofessional.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where am I? I don't know.
Too much time passed.
Time passed between upkeep. Stay on it, just like Anthony was saying in that quote. Don't have music or sound, please. Just trust me on that. Don't have tricky or unexpected automatic scrolling. Oh, that can be very annoying. Have large, slow to load. Don't have large, slow to load images. Don't put images too close together for an artistic statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make people have to click. We really want to avoid this, as little clicking as possible. Don't have large videos automatically load, only GIFs. Don't use old logos. They really date you quickly. I can't stress that enough. Anything you want to add on that, Rainey?
I mean, that was, I'm like, I mean, there's a,
It's an
I feel like
intensive.
it's a, yeah, that was so much. I'm like, I mean, some of it's pretty, you know, like music, I feel like that was
A while ago.
Yeah, that's a while ago. Guys, if you got music playing, that's that's something else.
Aging yourself. Dating.
Yeah, I
Dating.
think overall, I think sometimes what we see is photographers wanting to, because you're an artist and we understand, like you're an artist and you want to show your art and you want to present it in a creative way.
Artists. Yeah.
Yeah. And but what we're saying is, as a business, it's not, you're going to just distract when somebody's
Yes.
actually going to your website to find you to hire. So if you really want to have a website with your images and you want to make it really artsy, I would just make 2 websites then. Like make one, you know, if that's what you really want. But if you are trying to get jobs, you just really need to make it simple. I mean, we'll show you. I have, is it next? Oh yes, I'm going to show this really quick.
Yeah.
Percentage of clients who mentioned navigation when asked what can make or break a photographer site. Now, we didn't ask about navigation. This 86% of the people that we polled, when they were answering a question about websites, they said navigation is what turns them off the most. Like turns them on or turns them off, that they're like, like they'll stop. They will leave your website if it's too complicated. If you have the images scrolling over and they can't stop it to look, they might leave your website. And so you've just lost a job because you made something that was fun and creative and felt good for you. And I get it. I super, super get it. And it's the same thing with the categories. Maybe you have these artistic, creative category titles, but they're like, really, I'm looking for a food photographer and I didn't need to be yummy and delicious. Like I didn't need those categories don't make sense to me. I don't know what I'm finding in those. Right.
I think, and I know you've said this, Instagram, you could be a little more artistic.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, we also do have the highlights and the reels and the stories, but even the feed, it can be a little more artistic.
Totally. Because what we hear all the time is too, like, I think one of those quotes probably said something like that, but it was like, that's where they get to know you. Like the Instagram is where they get to learn about you and know you. So let them see how creative and artsy you are on the Instagram. You know, so have that freedom. Like if you're going to hate Instagram so much, how about like, let's think about it in a positive light of like, oh, this is where I get to be artistic. Like my website's got to be pretty buttoned up, but like my Instagram, I can have fun with it.
An expression, creative.
Absolutely.
Expression. Yes. So the portfolio reviews, or do we have more on?
These were we had these quotes. I don't know. Do we have time or do we want to just?
I don't think we do. Let's just, you can go get these quotes on Ask Stern Rep downloads.
Exactly. Yeah. So all this stuff, we have more quotes stuff you can look on the website.
So portfolio reviews, the to do and don't do list. You want to show that?
Oh shoot, sorry.
And then we're gonna have a little bit time to answer questions if you have.
Turn off, guys. Okay, it's all there. Okay, here we go.
You want to read them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the portfolio reviews, guys. Do research the reviewers, especially on LinkedIn, before choosing them. Do use that research for those you weren't able to see by connecting on LinkedIn. Do make sure
when you say weren't able to see, like if you have a review and you weren't able to see them or you couldn't get on their list, this is another way to do it. And it's a good thing to have something to say. Oh, I saw you did this review. You know, on LinkedIn, on messages, we want to have something to say. If they're doing a review, that's like a hot client. They're looking for photographers and they're open to it. And it gives you something to say to them, which is half or more of my job.
Totally.
Yes, go on.
Okay. So make sure technicalities are in order, double check technical specifications. Like we got on this call today 15 minutes early to make sure that this PDF looked good to
Yep.
show. You don't want people to be looking at your work and it's choppy and they can't look at your pictures. That's the whole point. Do you have a plan set in advance for who is controlling the screen, you or them? Andrea likes you to do it, right?
True.
Okay.
Oh, on
Yes.
reviews, yes.
Yes, on reviews, she likes the photographer to do it, but some
I do.
it's yeah.
Some
Um,
people prefer to do it themselves.
yeah. Okay. Start with an icebreaker to make a personal connection. State your intentions. Do you want a job or feedback? And that's something you see a lot when you're doing portfolio reviews, that maybe people aren't exactly saying why they're having it, right? And that's so
Yes.
important. What's your purpose
Yes.
in showing up today?
I think right now, if I had to choose one of these, do that. Because as
Yeah.
a reviewer, I've been really confused. What does this person want from me? Should I say that I think this image should go there or not be there? I don't know. It's like weird, you know?
Totally. Okay. Prep questions and topics specifically for them and what they work on. Listen and ask questions instead of talking too much.
Big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No.
As I would rep and I'd go into agencies and I'd have printed portfolios, I would be really mindful not to talk too much while they're looking. Because I feel the brain, you're either visually focused and they're going to remember it, or they're going to be listening to you. I don't want to talk too much. I want them to really take it in, soak it in my images, let it stick.
Totally. Okay. Find out what format your reviewer prefers. Most like a prepared PDF, but Andrea likes to see the website so she can remember the photographers in the future.
I find if they show me a PDF and sometime they'll email me later, hi, great meeting with you. Here's my website. I'm like, which one was this? You know, when I've done these reviews, it's exhausting. It's for how many hours every 15 minutes and you're talking. And so anyway, we forget. And if I can place your website with you, to me, that's your goal. My opinion, you show them your website, but people do disagree with me on that.
Okay. Give them a takeaway PDF leave behind. Okay. That could be a one sheet, just one page, or it can be, I guess, a full kind of book.
Portfolio of images, if it relates to that person, most important.
All right. Well, and then remember the reviewers are exhausted. So be personable and give them a reason to smile.
It really, when someone comes on and they start talking baseball, oh, it's so weird. I get totally rejuvenated on these reviews. If I could take that first minute, that awkward moment, and go, yeah, it's weird, but
so guys, remember, Andrea Stern, baseball.
Just talk baseball.
Okay? Yeah, just talk baseball.
But notice something personal. Every call I get, this is a side note, when I'm dealing with clients, I say something first to break the ice. I'll mention their area code. Oh, where are you from? Or they have an accent, or something about their name, or something I think of. It breaks the ice. We're both smiling and laughing, even on the phone. It takes 1 minute. So do that on the reviews as well. Start it off in a really personable, fun, enjoyable way.
I love that. Reference other same event reviewers' perspectives to see if they align with the current reviewers' opinions. Helps reviewer collect their thoughts.
It's so good when I'm so curious. What did they say? And it gives me something to bounce off of when I'm reviewing a photographer's portfolio and they tell me that person just said I should get rid of that. And I'll be like, no, I don't think so. I don't know. It's more direct communication. It doesn't make me sit there and have to create these thoughts of what you want to hear in my head. I get to work off of information that you want to know more. It's more interesting to both of us.
Yeah. Okay. Have an elevator pitch ready to go, or an interesting educational story to share about an image of how you handled some situation. And then give a goodbye gift like chocolate or something personal to them, as the gift goes a long way and will be remembered. And that's for in person, obviously.
Yeah. It helps.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Okay.
don't-
So don't see irrelevant people for your topic when choosing reviewers, as it can be a waste of time for both of you. Don't lose the connection you just made. Again, LinkedIn, Instagram,
Email.
email, all of them. Don't mail to people's private home addresses without asking.
Oh
It's a
my
big
gosh.
no, guys.
It
Big
really
time.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's just as bad as when people call me, photographers call me to rep them.
Yeah.
Why are you calling me? How do you know I'm available at this moment?
Okay. Don't waste time on unimportant matters, as they go very fast. And don't talk too much. It can distract clients from seeing the images. And then don't show too much work. Tailor your portfolio to the reviewer.
Mm.
Nice.
I like these lists. So we did it. Anybody, any questions? Should we, anyone?
I think there's a ton of questions.
Oh,
like,
good. What
right? Let's
can we do?
see. When you say tear sheets, do you mean like images of the project in print, on web, etc.? All of the above, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a billboard, put that
Yeah.
in there.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's more
all of that stuff.
interesting if you can make it kind of a lifestyle, especially for Instagram, if you want to show it off, like it's a billboard and you're there photographing it. It's kind of cool to see the real life experience with the tear sheet. Can't always happen like that, but maybe there's fun. That could be the artistic, fun way of showing off a project.
Mm-hmm. Love
And
it.
it also can be good in reels. Maybe you take screen grabs and you make a reel of it, or you mix it in with the behind the scenes. You make a story of that job. Interesting.
100%. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because all the different ways that are outside of just the still image, like that, personalizing it.
Yeah.
Instagram loves you, human. And when I say
Mhm.
you, I mean like humans. They love people. They want your face. Unfortunately, I know face. I don't like the face. You got to get on Instagram and put your face on there. But it is the number one thing that people respond to. Your personality, making sure like when you put a story up, even if it's just like you're not in it, but like telling, giving context to it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Got a lot of tear. Okay. Covers can live. Do you think a screenshot of a website is as helpful as a tear sheet? Like if you're doing, I think that's the same thing. We just went over that.
Mhm.
Do movie posters count as tear sheets, or does work in
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. Okay. There were lots of tear sheets.
I see Christina's asking, Christina, who I used to rep. Hi, Christina. These days, what % of your commercial reviews for jobs are virtual versus in person?
100%.
A lot are happening both. Rainey, you're doing one next week
Oh, that's true. I forgot. That's true.
in person. Where are you going?
I'm going to Savannah. I'm going to SCAD. Yes.
I
Woo!
mean,
Yeah.
a lot are happening more and more in person. I think in person is better for the photographer. Personally, as a reviewer, I'm better on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Again, my opinion. Gosh, I have a
Yeah.
lot of opinions.
Okay. Let's see. What is the threshold that you would consider older for the images?
Ooh.
For me, it's like for me, it's vibe. Like I'll see something like maybe it's like maybe it's the way you've colored the image. Like to me, that sometimes can really show. Sometimes I feel a color of an image can really show. It feels dated to me. If I see something, yeah. Do you feel that?
Yes, and it's much harder for lifestyle photographers because their clothes and the haircuts. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of a thing that makes it dated. Some things can live for a long time on your portfolio, and it doesn't mean just because they're older, it's not relevant anymore. It's just that some stuff, especially like you're saying in lifestyle.
But also there's that other thing about if the same client keeps going back to your site and seeing the same thing, it gets pretty old and they're not interested to see the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to keep our clients interested.
Totally. Okay. Instagram, we did that.
I have one. How often do you
Yeah.
How often do you think we should be posting on Instagram? What percentage should be reels? Oh my God, this is my favorite question. Rainy?
Well, I mean, so there's all these different facets of Instagram, right? So there's the feed, there's the stories, there's the reels, there's all these different ways that you can be posting. I would say like, I mean, if you want to get reach, we know that reels is the way. We know that that's the way that you're going to get seen by more people. Now, we're trying to target people anyways. We're not trying to have every single person see what we're doing and watching our reels. So, it's not necessarily like you have to make reels all the time, but maybe you come in like once a week on a reel, or once, you know, twice a month on a reel. And, you know, and the stories, I mean, every day, like that's really ideal if you're gonna really be utilizing it, because you want to think about who you follow on Instagram and how invested you are. Because I know for myself, I'm invested in a few different people's lives that I've never met in real life. Okay. So like, and why is that? Because they're really good at sharing stories more than any other part of Instagram. It's because they're sharing stories, just little snippets of their day, whatever it is. And that's how you're going to get, you'll find that people, like, if you put something up that's kind of personal in your stories, and you're going to get clients commenting, and you're going to see so much engagement from you sharing something from your life in the stories.
Yeah.
And that's how you make those real life connections, which is what kind of marketing is all about the connections.
How many times on the feed do you think per week, or is it per week?
Yeah, I mean, I would go minimally would be great once a week, but ideally you'd go like 3 to 5 times a week.
Mhm.
You'd post. But
Mhm.
I realize everybody doesn't have that much work, or maybe we're getting into the B sides, the C sides. Like, we're not trying to, you know, you don't want to show everything you've ever shot, and you just don't have that much work. But just, you can repost something. If you posted something, you know, 6 months ago, and you're like feeling like posting it again, and you've posted enough in the interim for it to be
Mhm.
far enough apart,
Huh.
post it again. You know how many people missed it? Tons of
I've
people missed
never
it.
heard you say that. Very interesting.
Yeah, you absolutely you can. Yes.
Can you do that on
definitely.
stories?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, well, not because if you're like repeating yourself in a way of
Mhm.
like, this thing happened in my life today, and then you're reposting 6 months later this real life thing that happened in my life today. It's like, that's kind of weird. But anything that's like, anything that performs well or that you love, that's your work, I think show it again. I think because a lot of people didn't see it that first time around, you
Yeah.
know. And you could, and if you're like, man, I really don't want it to be on my feed twice, you can just archive the original one. You know, you don't have to keep it, that you don't have to. And then if you're like, damn, I don't like how that performed this time, archive the new one, bring back the old one. I mean, just
Hmm.
test stuff out, and try to have a little fun with it, you know.
Hmm.
Be proud of the work that you've done, and you know, show it to everybody. Because really, honestly, like, I can't tell you, like, I'll post something on my own Instagram and people will be like, oh my God, like, I can't believe you were in New York. And I'm like, I was in New York like last year, like, you know, because they don't realize that, like, because they don't go to my website. Because
Mhm.
people aren't going to my website and realizing like that picture's been on her website for 6 months, but
Yeah.
I just posted on my Instagram and it's like brand new to them. So,
Right.
you know, so
That's another positive about Instagram. It's like websites, we can't do that.
yeah,
But Instagram, we have a little more fluidity on there.
totally. Okay.
Is there a cost range you think is average in these bigger portfolio reviews? Cost range of how much they cost? I've been contacted by one big show to exhibit, but the price is whoa. Yeah, it's kind of like Le Book is so expensive. I think they're like, I think about $8,000, at least for a rep to do it. It's crazy. There are some crazy, it's got to fit within your, maybe you have a marketing budget for the year and you see who's going to be there to determine if it's really important. Judy asks, what are the best portfolio reviews? Oh, honestly, APA. There's also, yeah, the Boulevard, and where else? Oh, we have a list of them. I could really look.
Yeah, let me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put these links in the chat right now so you guys can have them, because we did just put an article up today and we put all these docs up there.
Mhm.
So that if there's anything that like you can't like, hopefully it'll be in the article too, like, you know, something that we talked
Which
about
article
today.
is this in?
Sorry, what, oh, can you, it's in our portfolios article. We
Okay.
have a list of some of the organizations that do portfolio reviews that we like. So we'll have the first link I put here is the article that will have the links. And then we have our download section where you can find all of our PDFs that we showed today. And then we just have our business page there too, if you guys need any help from us.
How often should a website portfolio be refreshed? Is there a recommended percentage of images that should be swapped out every so months? How often months? Every
I
X
feel like a quarterly vibe, or like,
yeah.
you know,
Is that
like,
how often do you do sternrep.com?
yeah, we try to do quarterly. That's always the
Mhm.
goal. So at least maybe twice a year.
But you're talking the overview.
Yeah, overview. Right.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And I guess the individual pages, if we have new work, or, you know,
Yes.
it's always nice to freshen up, move the stuff around, just again, because if we are having people come to the website more than once and they're like, oh, I've seen these images every time I've come to this website. So
Yeah.
mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. If
See.
you can get engagement with your followers, like ask them a question or talk about your real life versus stories and reels via stories and reels.
Can you ask that again?
If you can get I'm not sure what the question is. If you can get engagement with your followers, like ask them a question or talk about your real life.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it was a comment. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Stories and reels. Yes.
So that's the way to market on Instagram. That's it. That's the way to do it. Be a real person. That's it. You don't need to inbox people and say, I'd love to work with you. They get it. They know.
Yeah. Just be real.
You just be a human. Anything else?
I paid a photo editor to do an edit of my Instagram and they deleted a bunch of stuff. And I'm much more proud of my Instagram now. It was a good investment.
I love that. Yeah,
absolutely. When you work with photographers, do you delete a bunch of stuff from their feed?
Definitely. 100%. Yeah.
Do you
I don't delete. So I wouldn't use the word, I archive, because again, you never know, in a year from now, maybe they're going to be sad about that. So I always archive. But yeah, absolutely. You got to cut the fat, man. You got to get rid of the stuff that's like not serving you anymore.
And do you replace them in different areas next to different ones? Yeah,
I mean, we'll just we figure out a nice flow, whatever that means for them. So sometimes I'll be like, you know, and it'll be that thing where I'll see an image, maybe they posted it 3 years ago and I'm like, damn, I like that picture. And I'd rather archive it and let's post it again, because it's so pushed down to the bottom that, like, you know, people, maybe you for sure have gained followers in the last year, in the last 2 years. So if you posted something 2 years ago and you love it and it still really fits, show it again, because you know, it'll be new for the new followers. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Do we have questions? Yeah, it was a comment. That's what she said. Okay. I think we got all the questions. Are there any more questions?
Any more questions?
If you posted a question before and we missed it, share it again, just like the Instagram.
There's one comment in a different APA event. A very interesting topic came up about putting your bio photo on your website. Several of the POC in the audience expressed that they don't, BIPOC, want to show themselves because they know they are being discriminated against. Any thoughts on that? Well, that's a big topic. But I think it's important. It could be helpful these days, no matter what you are. And people will just, beyond that answer, because that's a big topic, they want to know who you are. If you can present yourself, it's like the best meeting in the world is when you reach out your hand and you shake someone's hand in the old days and you meet them. That's what's going to really affect people and feel like they know you. And this can last for years. Once you've met someone, when I used to travel a lot with my work in Chicago and Detroit, New York, and people don't forget. So that is, it's something similar. It is to put your picture on. That's what they want. They want to get a sense of who you are. And that's your best branding, your best marketing. So that's my opinion. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's my opinion.
Let's see, okay, let's see. Is it good to show unpolished BTS on TikTok? Yeah, I think so. I think
Again,
like
that's
test
what
it
people
out.
want to see.
Yeah, and TikTok is really leaning towards like original content, and so show that stuff. Because that's what they're into on TikTok, is all that stuff. I really see a lot of food photographers doing great stuff on there. They're getting really into showing their process of like, cracking the eggs, and they're just doing, I mean, they're essentially getting into the influencer sphere with it. But I mean, if you're already baking stuff, maybe show the process on there. That's great.
Personally, I always ask myself, what do I look at? What do I want to, I be the judge of what I think others are going to want. When I see behind the scenes, I'm really interested.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I love to see a lighting setup. I love to see like who's having fun. Like I love to see like,
what the set's like, who's talking to who, how's it? I mean, it's interesting.
It is, absolutely.
It's become my rule for Instagram. If I find it interesting, I'm going to post it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes, 100%.
Any tool to use most relevant hashtags? Ooh.
Oh, tool to find relevant hashtags? I mean, there are apps. I will say with hashtags, I think we're in a space right now with Instagram that like they got really overdone. They used to work really well, and then they got people, it was just getting, it's at a point where like I don't think you need to get super creative, because you got to think who's following those hashtags, like who's following a really creative hashtag. Like first of all, you don't want to use the main ones, like the ones that have 1 million like posts with them, like hashtag photography. I mean, no one's going to see your picture. Hashtag photography, no one is going to see your picture. I mean, does anybody, I mean, I wish we could do a show of hands, but I can't. But like, how many of you guys follow hashtag photography? And you guys love photography. Like, do you follow hashtag photography? And so let's think about, and for sure, clients that are like who are constantly inundated with photographers, they're not following hashtag photography.
What are they following? What's an example?
Maybe, I mean, I think you just want to think how I see it at this point. It's like SEO. It's a way to be searchable. So you want to just be like Los Angeles food photographer or DC food photographer, like put all that stuff in that somebody might type into their into their Google or their search bar on Instagram. Put hashtag those things, because and TikTok is very much like this. They've gotten really into the SEO aspect. So adding just context so that the right people are going to see your images too. So you'll get recommended to the correct people based on those hashtags. But I really think that they can be simple and just straightforward. Like there used to be like the feed. Like, I mean, maybe somebody's following that. You can also, here's a little trick. You can see what hashtags people follow. You can see that on Instagram. You can look.
That's good.
Yeah, you can go to where they follow, click on who they follow, and in there you will see an option to see what hashtags they follow.
Well, we could do a little research. What are they following? Yeah. And they're the client I want to get in front of. Use those hashtags.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I would do. I would go keep basic and then do your research for the clients and see what they're following. And I would look at the brand, sure. But once you find the clients, see what they're following, if they are following hashtags. Yeah. Otherwise, like I would, because again, we're in this place where like, it's just not, you're not going to get discovered by hashtags, most likely, to the clients that you want to get anyhow. You just want to kind of get it in the right direction.
Oh, that's interesting. What about Pinterest? Who is using it?
Oh, we are using it. We are using it. And with Behance. So Behance and Pinterest both have the same great thing about them, that they both have good SEO. As long as you're inputting all the right information on the back end. We'll double check. We'll look at like how our SEO is performing. So we'll type in automotive photographer, Los Angeles. And what do we find on the first page? Jeff Stockwell, a picture from Pinterest, or Caleb
Yeah.
Cool on Behance. We're like, our Pinterest is the top, that's what's showing over our website.
And I remember on
So-
our Google Analytics, we were looking, and Pinterest was like one of our main people that came to our website.
Yeah, it was
You know,
Pinterest.
we don't know exactly, but if it's working, use it. Why not?
Yeah, and like Pinterest and Behance are kind of, as long, you know, you got, again, you have to input all the information, you know, so that it can be Googleable, but they're pretty simplistic. Like if you just keep, you know, just kind of upload some stuff and just have stuff kind of coming in every once in a while and just have it live there. Like Behance takes about 5 minutes to upload an entire catalog of images. It's like, it's so fast.
Love it. Should we?
Yeah.
It's 20 after. Are we going to get kicked out of here?
Were we supposed, was it till, I don't know, was it till 6?
I know.
Was it 2 hours or 1 hour?
You guys want to kick us out?
Well,
2 hours, Lauren.
I
see,
think, yeah, we can go as long as you're
Oh.
willing, as long as people have questions.
All right.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Okay. How are you handling, oh, is that for us? LC, how are you, was that just for Lauren? Who was it? Oh, no, Laura Chase. Or how are you handling clients that may have an embargo for the shoot? I don't know. It says LC, but we can maybe answer it too.
How are you handling clients that may have an embargo? I don't know what that means.
So they can't show the images for a while, right?
How are you handling clients?
maybe that's
But
just a
how are we
personal
handling them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I could be honest. Sometimes I show them anyway, but I've also gotten in big trouble. And I won't name the client, but they called me, said, take them down. And I said, it's my fault. Because it was on my photographer's site as well. And I didn't
Oh,
want
wow.
them to get in trouble. That's the best part about having a rep. Let the rep
Wow.
get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I've definitely done it, or you can ask their permission, but if they say no, you're probably not going to get their permission. I use them for PDFs. We can just send them privately. I don't send them in a mass email promo, but you can send them to specific other clients that you want to get to know and say, here, look at these. Yeah.
Nice.
How are you handling client? Oh, that's that. Oh, yeah. I put an alert on my calendar. Okay. That's
Should you
embargo
curate your
conversation.
Instagram feed to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, or is it okay to have finished work as one post and then a raw video clip as another feed post? I go no raw clip as another feed post,
Why?
because you need it quick. Everything's got to be fast. You don't want a client to show up on your Instagram account and be like, what is like that? What is? No,
Yeah.
none of this. You want them to, they come in, it's clear as day who you are as a photographer. So that feed should just be beautiful. If you want to make a reel that's like some raw
Right.
BTS, I wouldn't have, unless you have a beautiful cover where it's the image, you could do that. Like the cover is the image and then it's like the BTS or whatever behind it. But you want your feed to just look like a beautiful portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just
Yeah.
imagining myself.
And there's
scrolling.
different ways to obviously do that, which, that's another conversation.
Mm.
Are clients excited to have photographers making social content on set? Sometimes I break down in my head how much I'm making per minute, and it makes me not want to even touch my phone all day. Wow.
Like I'm cheating the client to take time to make social content.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you have an intern or someone else who could do that. Because
Yeah.
you could, if clients see that, they could get really annoyed.
Yeah.
But
So
if it's helping you in your marketing and clients aren't there.
Yeah.
I
Because I'm
suggest
wondering if this question, do they want you to do it? Because maybe some of them want the extra, maybe if you're like, but I guess that's more influencery.
Mm.
Right?
Or some clients do, but you would know if they bring it up.
Yeah. But it just shouldn't be you. Anyways, it shouldn't be you getting the content for social media, right? On your phone as a photographer.
What's the question?
Would you recommend the photographer be getting that? Like you just said, you should have an assistant. I would say 100% of the time you should have an assistant. You shouldn't be picking
Yeah.
up your phone if you're trying to get a shot and you're just like, well, but we got to get, I got to get this shot. Like,
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I go to shoots and sets all the time, and I'm the one taking video. I'm the one, because I want to create the content for them or
yeah,
with them. So I think if they can take it, it would be interesting. Yeah, but you don't want to get away in the way of the job.
you just don't want it to, you don't want it to take over for what the main point of the day is. But if you can, awesome. What to do when you see an art director or someone in the hiring position follow you on Instagram or follow your stories? Follow them back, reach out, play it cool. Follow them back, reach out, both. Don't play it cool.
Engage. And I have this thing when we have a story up on a certain photographer and we're showing their images, maybe it's a reel we're showing or something. We save their name, we save folders in our Instagram for that photographer. And then I go through that folder. If that photographer has a red circle around my face when I'm in their inbox, I assume they're gonna want to see the red circle of the active Insta story. So that's how I do it. Did I make sense with that? I was like,
I know what you're saying for sure. I know. I do. I get it. If anybody needs more context, let us know. We can definitely give you more context. But for sure, like that's the best. If you got an art director or someone in the hiring position follow you, yeah, there's absolutely
stay on it.
Yes.
What I find too is when I'm commenting on their Insta story, I don't ask them a question to make them respond to me. I make it more a comment that is just genuinely interested, something I'm interested in about their story. Just like a little bit of feedback that is enjoyable because it's real.
Totally.
I don't want to make them do something like, "Ooh, how did you get that?" That's annoying.
Yeah.
And the clients know what we're doing.
Yeah, they always know. So 100%. Okay. How many images do you like to show with a virtual prospect portfolio review? And I'm assuming a PDF for that presentation.
Well, Rainey, we were talking about this.
Yes.
30, something like that. You know, if I could give you advice, I would say don't make it too long, make it kind of short and make them go to your website. Leave time so they do go to your website. I'm telling you, you want them to remember your website, because when you're up for the job, or someday they have a job and they're looking for you, if they didn't see your website, they're not really going to remember who you are.
That's really smart. Like that's something I would have never thought about that. That's super smart. Yeah, and then they asked, and assuming a PDF for that presentation. So yeah, PDF. You could do like an ebook or something, like there's all kinds of options if you want something fancier. But then you have to think about the technical aspect of the online presentation. So what is a tactful way of approaching a reviewer if you are looking to work with them?
A tactful way to
approaching a reviewer if you are looking to work with them. I guess you would just say, like, that's my purpose of this review.
Yeah.
My purpose of this review is I would like to work with you in the future.
Yeah. Be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
They probably know that. You probably don't have to say it, but it's always good to state what you want, because a lot of times, like it's confusing as a reviewer, and I want to say, "Oh, I don't think this should be over here," or "This image is too many images of this." And wait, did you want my feedback? It's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
So let us know.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to, I think it's
Sometimes I hire a photographer on my photo shoot just to take behind the scene images. Clients adore those images, because they also can see some things that are happening on the shoot, which they are not aware of, kind of bringing up a value of hiring me. I love it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yes. Behind the scenes is like the most catchy thing. I would say if anything I know of, it's behind the scenes. They all want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What if your goal at a portfolio review is both feedback and potential work? You mentioned communicating your intent, but what if it's both?
Say both.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Be honest. These are just people, They're
Yeah.
us. People are us, you know.
Totally. Okay. As far as the work shared on Instagram, I know that there are some images that would work great on a website, but really kind of get deflated when viewed on IG with their mobile forward format. How does one have some consistency in portfolio feel when some images work better on one platform or the other?
Mm.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, obviously, if if you're a detail kind of photographer, you're not gonna like that detail will be lost. The resolution is lost on Instagram. But I mean, that's I would say, I mean, to have consistency, just kind of post. I don't know. I think just find what works for you on the different platforms.
Because maybe it'll look, I'm thinking like Vinny Finn, our food photographer. His
Mhm.
Instagram looks cool and it's not organized in the same way as his website. It's like a different show. It's a different,
Yeah,
and it's okay.
yeah,
The images, of course, they're tiny, but it looks artistic. So it has a
totally.
different flavor, and
Mhm.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's always like we were kind of I touched on it for 1 second, but there's obviously different ways to post stuff. So you can do like if you're like, man, I'm a details kind of guy, gal, person, human, like I want that picture to be huge. So put it over. I mean, you have to keep up with it, but you can make a cool design. Caleb Cool does it, and it looks awesome.
Will you explain what you mean by this?
So, you would basically take an image or a group of images, and you would split them up into 3, 6, or 8 smaller images, squares, and lay them out on and then post them in order so that they are laid out on the feed as one huge image. Which
Yeah.
I love it if you're a detail photographer. I think it's beautiful. If your work is kind of that large scale kind of a thing. It's just extra work. So you just have to commit to it if you're going to do it, because now you have to post everything in threes. So,
You can never stop.
no, you can't ever stop.
What if you make like 2 rows of just black squares? So then you could start something new.
Yeah, you can, but your pictures on the bottom are going to be messed up. So they're not going to be lined up anymore. So once you put only 2 in afterwards, or let's say I just want to post one image at a time. So one image is here, brand new. And so now your images on the bottom are all just one off. It's all skewed off on the bottom.
Oh.
Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. I only see 3 people on the top space, so I don't know about the rest of the group, but if you don't, you can tell us and I can try to explain it better. But essentially, yeah, you'd have to kind of stick with it. You have to pretty much stick with it. You can change your mind in the future and either archive it again if you're like, I'm over this and I don't want to think about it, archive it and start over. Or you could leave it there. If it's really far down, maybe people won't get to it, but then why would you even want them to get to it? You wouldn't want them to get to it.
What about doing it as like a gallery showing? And then when you're done in a month, you take it off and you start over.
Yeah, no, archive it. Yeah, absolutely. Take it on off.
Okay.
If you're like, I think that the thing with Instagram or anywhere that you are showing, experiment, see what works, have some fun with it. If you want to see like how your Instagram will look that way, how your work will appear on Instagram, because you'll see it for other people, but how does my work look like that? And see if you like it. And if you love it and you're like, oh my God, this kills. Like somebody comes to my Instagram, I'm getting hired.
Yeah.
Right. So, and if you're like, ew, this doesn't work at all, then you take it right down. It's not the end of the world. Yeah.
It's like more of an active porthfolio. Websites, we don't change that much.
Yeah.
But this is our
and they're more
creative.
curated. Yeah. Like they're more like, these are my best. And Instagram, you can kind of float, kind of try out different stuff. Maybe show a little bit more of the stuff you weren't sure of as a final image, but maybe it was the option of there was like 2 images that like somebody's head is turned this way and the other one is turned this way. And I couldn't decide. Instagram.
Yeah. That sounds fun. And I would say it's really like a great complementary to your website. And you don't want to look perfect. It's like a canvas.
Yeah.
You want to show some depth to you. You don't need to have the exact same. Here's the question. Should your website and your Instagram feed be the same? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to re-show what you're already exactly the same.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm sure there's more stuff on the bottom. Let's see.
How do you feel about mass email promos? We do them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel they are extremely important, and the numbers, you're not, of course, not everybody's going to open it or click on them, but it's like I'm fishing and I'm throwing out a big net into the water and I'm just trying to grab as many fish as possible. And it also gives me the feedback. Who is interested?
Right.
Oh, look at this company who clicked on my link. Wow. And they clicked 5 times. And then
Yeah.
it gives you an excuse to get in touch with them. You know who's clicking. It should give you some of that feedback. It
Yeah.
could be really serve a purpose. It's not the whole purpose. I still say you have to be more personal, like on LinkedIn and Instagram, and connect with people. But it's a part of it. I
Yeah.
even do some emails. We call it one sheets, and it's an email promo just for my email, my specific one-on-one email. And that is one more way. It's like the more ways we can figure out how to stay in front of people and be findable. Yes, do them. That's my opinion.
Okay. Anything else? Oh,
Okay.
I guess you asked that one.
How often do you send email promos? Once a month? More? I would not. Once a month is a bit much to the same group. Could really annoy people. I would say every 2 months, maybe 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Quarterly vibe is for all that stuff, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is a one-on-one promo?
Oh, one sheet?
She just said one-on-one. I think she's referring to what you were talking about.
One
though.
sheet. It's a
Yeah.
one sheet. How big is it, Rainey?
I'm not sure what the dimensions are, but it's like, it's, like
I would
maybe
say
it's like
4
a
by
4 by
6, but that's
6
okay.
ish.
And how many images do we have on there?
Let's see. There's probably
10?
like 10-ish. Yeah.
And then in the middle, we have the promo, the logo for our
the
company.
right, the logo and like your website and maybe your Instagram possibly.
But I've also seen one sheets with one image. You can have a different, depending on the image. Maybe you have a 3 series, a 1 series, a 10 series.
I think of them as like they're basically a digital version of your leave behind, of like your cards that you would bring
Printed,
to your
printed
printed.
promo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a digital version, right?
Through an email. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Will you be sharing the slides from today? They are on our website, and the downloads. I think they just shared it for us. Mike shared them for us. Oh, great. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, so the slides are on the downloads page there. Of course. Yeah, you're welcome.
Posting on Instagram gives me a lot of anxiety. So I appreciate you both making it feel less daunting. I got to tell you, and if you know Ask Stern Rep, you know how often I'm doing this stuff all the time, talking to my own face. But when I started, Rainey, did I just want to cry?
Yeah. We did it. We were doing it together, and we had to, it was a process to like figure out how to be in front of the camera. But we knew that this was the way to grow. We knew that this was the way to feel approachable, and we wanted to speak to the group, to our followers directly. And it really made everything different, I think. Yeah. It really changed it for us. Yeah.
I had to just pick up that phone in front of my face and do it. It felt so weird. You just pick it up and you do it.
Totally. And if you need for a little while, if you're going to do the talking, you could have a friend there with you, like another photographer. Maybe you guys help each other out with like how you can talk to the camera, and you can direct each other, at the beginning, at least, so you can get, because I mean, that's the craziest thing. I don't do it either. Like picking up the phone and talking to it.
Why is it so important? Showing our own face, talking into this,
humanizing us, right? Just making us human. Like they see our work and they're like, that's great. And the talent with your work is that's gotta be there. That's there. Like there's no question. But the thing that's going to come next is who you are, and how you feel to them. And are they going to want to spend 12 hours with you
and invest? It's a big investment.
Yeah. Spend their money on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they want to be able to trust you. And that's how you gain trust is just showing a bit of yourself.
And it's your biggest marketing. It's the best way to market yourself is a human.
Right. I mean, you know, we haven't gone to do in person at agencies recently, but that was like the whole thing. That was like our big thing of the year, was to go in and meet people as a group and show the iPads and everything. And now, okay, well, you can't bring your iPad to the office, but you can make a reel for what would be on the iPad. You know, make a slideshow. So there's all these ways to take things that you would have had to do for a different format and put it into a format that people are consistently looking at and targeting the right people.
And many more people.
Yeah.
You get to see so many more people, or so many more people can see you. Clients can see you on Instagram.
Yeah. And hopefully Instagram is apparently working on the algorithm right now. So if you've seen a drop in reach, don't get too concerned. Don't stress out. There's something in the works right now. So things have really kind of tanked for everybody. So hopefully we're going to get recommended to the correct people, and, you know, it'll be a little bit better.
Good. What's the best method of showing your portfolio in in-person review? Individual prints, a book, or an iPad? Well, the iPad definitely for your motion, because you have to. And then any type of printed portfolio. I have seen photographers open like a box and have 8x10. This is kind of the old fashioned. When I started, this is how it was. And you pull out a picture and it's on some kind of cardboard or something, anything that's unusual. Kind of, this is your opportunity to be a human, to be authentic, to be yourself. And again, best marketing is to have them remember you. So if your presentation can reflect who you are and your work, that will help the client remember what you do and who you are and think of you. Our main thing in this whole business is to get in front of people. And when they are thinking, oh, I need to find a photographer. Who do I know? Who do I know? You want them to think of you. It's about being in front of these people. You want to come to mind. Make these opportunities of sitting with someone for 20 minutes an opportunity that they're going to stick into their mind, and make it also visual. These are visual, your clients are visual people. Make your presentation something, it can be artistic, it can be slick, it can be, there's so many different portfolios. There's no rule for this. Or the images just themselves will stand out. But really, you want to make that impact, and you want to do it through all these types of ways. Give them some chocolate. Say hello kindly, make me laugh about my baseball. All of it, everything encompassing is your way to get you in front of them. And so they'll remember you when they're looking to hire someone.
Yeah. And do you think that, like, because you're saying like, oh, get creative, you're kind of saying like you can be really creative with your book, with the physical book. So it's kind of like book can be really creative, Instagram can be really creative, but the website should be kind of like simple and easy to use.
Yeah, kind of conservative, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Like just because they just don't. I mean, I don't know if we read the quote, but one of our quotes specifically said that they will leave the website if it slides over. Yeah. If it's like a slideshow, they hate it. So you don't want people to leave your website.
But one thing also, tagging on to what I just said, is you don't want the portfolio to be larger than your images. You got to be careful. You don't want to over market yourself. You don't want to show something so they don't remember your images and they only remember your book. No, you got to be a good judge of what's going to really work for you and promote your images. That is really your goal.
Yes. You're smart.
Oh,
will you be viewed as outdated as a photographer if you don't direct motion?
Well, when we say direct motion, there is directing video, but there's also GIFs and things like they're going to use on TikTok, and they need to see that stuff. In my opinion, again, that is today's market. And you want to have your foot in the, you want to have a step in there You don't want to be behind the ways, the times. You want to
Yeah.
be prepared. You want to have it ready. So some type of motion. Yes.
Totally. Okay.
And why do clients want both these days? Why do clients want
Because
both?
that's what's working for their advertising. That's
Yeah,
how
they're needed.
That's how, yeah, they need to sell that's how they're selling their products, and they realize that motion is kind of more attractive to potential, consumers, right? So that's
what they
why.
need.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Um,
Today I was doing some usage for a photographer and they said, digital, we want digital. I'm like, what does that mean? Digital. Do you know that could mean out of home and with billboards and, we could be on Times Square. Is that what you mean by digital? So you got to find out, you got to break these things down. That word digital.
Yeah.
What?
Everything's digital. I feel like my entire life is digital. Every single part of my life almost.
And the importance of digital. I was talking to my other rep friends this morning. Digital, it's everything. And the amount of people, it's no longer this. It used to be when I don't know, I was probably 5 years into repping and and websites came along and internet. I don't know if I have the math right on that, but digital was $500. That was the extra. You want digital? Okay, we'll add $500. It was always this $500. It's no longer $500. It should be the most expensive usage that they're going for.
Totally. Wow. Okay. Anybody have any more questions? Is there anything else that you guys needed?
Yeah, you want to talk to us in person? Should we do this like a?
Oh, we could do. Yeah, maybe we could open it up.
Yeah.
Is that you guys want to talk? Talk.
I'm gonna view
Face
as
talk?
gallery. Ooh, come on, everyone. Lauren, you start. Come on. Oh, get the mic.
Let's see.
Well, it's nice to see everybody's face. Hi,
Yeah.
guys. If you do have any questions, go ahead. Lauren, can you use your microphone though? We can't hear you.
Hi.
Lauren, what did you learn from today? Anything?
Oh my goodness, so
I know,
much.
pressure.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, it was really interesting. It was interesting to listen through the client feedback because that's like the thing, right? We just want to get in a client's head, and how do we ever do that? I think that the format for in-person portfolios is always a big question. I've only ever done virtual portfolio reviews. So definitely the thought of the in-person and how do I go about creating something physical, or do I just do an iPad is something I've thought a lot about. And I didn't participate, but I was at the Boulevard reviews in New York in June, and I met a photographer who their portfolio was in a magazine format, and it also served as their leave behind. And it was understated. It was simple. It was very like focused on the images, but I thought that was really like, that was a great example of something interesting and a little out of the box and certainly multi-purpose.
I've seen newspapers like that. Yeah. Very cool.
But this has been amazing. Thank you both. Goodness.
Oh, awesome.
Who else? Come on, talk to us. Don't leave me hanging.
So I can say somebody did comment. Is it George? Is it George? If that's George, I love the way it's spelled. And if I'm saying it wrong, I'm trying to find your face. Oh, I see you over there. Hi. Is it George? Just shake your head yes or no. Is? Oh my God, I got it right. Okay. 2 years ago, clients asked me, do you do video too? And last year, new clients don't even ask. It became standard. So they just he's saying, yeah, they just expect it. Yeah. Very cool. I mean, I know it's hard. I get it, guys.
Come on.
I get it. It's
I do have a question. I have a question.
You do? Okay.
How do you feel about, let's say a photographer feels really comfortable with the directing part of video, but just doesn't feel comfortable to say like, yeah, I'm going to shoot that, or I'm going to be the one that creates that, but really wants to stay on the directing side. Do you feel like that can be, is it okay to make that an opportunity to collaborate with someone like a videographer, someone or a cinematographer, someone who does shoot and say, okay, we're going to work on this together and present a vision together so
Yeah.
that the pressure is not on you to take on a whole new, I mean, the video is complex and even the gift stuff can be a lot. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, you hire the pros. Most jobs now, you have a DP, you have a director of photography, you have a camera operator, you have a lot of help. Not everybody does it all by themselves. I like the idea of a photographer doing everything. Like we represent Paul Barchan. He does everything and he's a drone pilot, but not every photographer is like that. And it also can go much faster sometimes. Maybe there's more people on set, but if you do have help and you want to get the most content that you can in a shoot, it can really help. So it's pretty normal to have a staff, a crew with you doing it. And
Do
they
you
can help
work-
you. Yeah. You don't have to come up with the ideas. And
Do you work out bids a little bit different when it's like the client wants both and it's one person that they're only hiring you as the photographer, but they're like, oh, but we want you to get video too, because it's like the time restraints and everything that goes into there. I'm curious if like the deliverables, I know like deliverables have changed over the years. It's not, it used to be per image. It was kind of just, day rates, all that bidding has changed. So I'm interested in like, and I was going a little off course, but like when someone's asking you to do video too, without not diminishing what we're really good at, like where do you kind of approach that with clients? Like,
well, I'm not even sure you asked this, but it came to my head is for financially, if a photographer is also the director, it's a separate fee.
okay.
And sometimes it's like half the fee of your photography rate.
Okay.
So it should, it's not cheap. They want a director. Okay. They're also getting you as a director. But your question, what's exactly?
Like, it's just interesting, like, the difference between like, if it's something for TikTok and it's like, okay, as a photographer, and then we can grab our phone and get them something like little extra assets. It's just like, you did kind of answer it with that answer with it, but just like, it's just gets a little like, I think people get nerve wracked as photographers, like how much do I want to say, I am now a DP, I'm now a video
Right.
person, like without selling yourself short by coming in and doing it. So saying like, I have a team, like Lauren's idea, like that's probably how I would handle it. Like I have a video person, we got to add them on, like just,
every time we're bidding on a job, it's so different because some clients, all they have is money for you.
Yeah.
You got to decide. And then some, you can have 3 assistants and Digitech and everybody, producer. If I was you, I would be able to do it myself. And editing, like Caleb Cool, who he does it himself and he edits, and Paul, but not everyone could do that. It really, how you work, what you need to do your best work is a question for yourself. But financially, from the business end, I would like you to be able to do it yourself if you have to. Get more jobs. Yeah. How are you all doing? Like, how's the market today? And are you bringing in jobs? And how do you feel it's happening?
I miss face-to-face meetings, what you were talking about, like going into agencies and actually doing book showings. So I think that's coming back a little bit more, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of clients aren't in the office yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we go meet them in person?
Yeah, I'm with Camper on that. I feel like one of my strongest points is actually seeing people face to face. I feel like my work is good enough to sell me, but when they meet me, and that's like when it's like, okay, we really want to hire this guy. And I feel like my biggest strength has been ripped away in the pandemic. And moving to a new city has been challenging in itself as well. But now that it's a new city, on top of not being able to really like go out and meet people face to face, it's been challenging.
Do you live there?
I live in LA. Yeah.
Oh, you live in LA.
Nice.
We emailed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you still can take people to lunch if they're in LA and you're in LA. People still want to meet and be taken here or that, or, even bring them something, or you can still figure out ways to have one-on-ones like that.
I'm starting to introduce it slowly, I'm like, oh, what if
Yeah.
we do the old school thing and have coffee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the, and also we can always go back to Instagram, right? So do kind of kind of bring that side of you to Instagram, that personable side that you would bring
True.
to the real world. I mean, I know it's like talking to the void, but I get it. But using that, like the engagement, like going and talking to, like going and just being naturally, like if that's your biggest asset is your personality, comment, just keep in touch with those people, like find the people on LinkedIn to follow, and just keep, and then invite, maybe you're like been talking on Instagram for a little bit and then go, oh, coffee, it becomes like a natural friendship,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Or, hey, I see you're in LA. Are you, what,
Oh,
where?
that's a great in too. I'm new to LA. Like then
Mm.
you're new, and then you're like this fresh face in the city that, like, that's kind of nice too. I think you need to get in there with that.
And the location. If you find out they live in Silver Lake and you're like, oh, there's this coffee shop over, they have that, I don't know, they have something, that donut shop in Silver Lake, just talk, use it. Go on.
Do you feel like marketing sites like Workbook, Found Artist, Wonderful Machine are successful for photographers, or do you feel maybe these in-person portfolio reviews are a little bit better? Because I've experienced both, and I feel like for me personally, the in-person seems to be working, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of wasting money with some of these other sites. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
It's one of those things where I said before about fishing with a big net. You're trying everything. I can't say what actually works and what doesn't, because everyone, someone got a job from that. I wish I could give you an answer, but both,
Yeah.
honestly, both. Should do them
Okay.
both. Try everything. But
Yeah, and
one thing I notice is photographers, if you're paying for Found or Wonderful Machine, you stop doing it yourself. No, you still on it and you're engaging, because that's really what's going to get you work. Do you use that as a backup? Don't let it be your marketing.
Absolutely.
What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say, I mean, I feel like personally, I feel like I've heard experiences from photographers who have found success on those sites, and then other photographers who have found success in person. So for me, it's hard to decipher which ones have worked. For me personally, I feel like in person has been better for me. And so I'm trying to maybe put more of my marketing dollars into these times where I can meet in person. But yeah, like to your point, it's just, it doesn't seem to be one right answer for everyone,
Right.
which is so tough about this business, is that there's
Yeah.
not one right way to do anything. It's just whatever works best for that photographer. So I guess that can be tricky, but things like this just help, especially just to refine maybe a photographer's decisions and what they're going to do. So I really appreciate you guys, and thank you for doing this.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
It's hard because here I am saying do everything, but I have help that I don't do everything. Can you really do everything? No, and you probably can't afford everything, but do as much as you can.
Mhm.
And don't treat it like, well, maybe I'll do some marketing. No. Maybe also you do what you enjoy and it feels natural and it's kind of working. And then you try other things. Maybe for 1 year, I'm going to try this, see if it works. Kind of dabble in everything, put your fingers out there and touch everything, and then see, oh, this one's interesting. This is working. Or this I actually enjoy. 1 hour a week on Instagram. I'm going to engage. I'm going to go find clients. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to comment and respond on their story.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even it's 2 a.m. now in Europe.
Oh gosh.
One of the things that I used to do before pandemic was making parties where I would, of course, invite clients, because they would share images or stories on Instagram on the party. So maybe some from some other company who follows them will see they are on some party. Who is this guy? Let's check him. That was kind of way to bring some kind of attention. And from the second point, it was kind of a way of saying thank you for collaboration. And all those people who works in those companies that I work with, they feel happy that they feel something they get in return from me.
Yeah.
Not just images as a totally business to business wise. Now it's more personal thing.
That
And
is, yeah.
party, alcohol, good food, a lot of smiles, good music was always win.
I love that. That sounds like a blast.
I love
Damn.
it. And a win because also you're finding the thing that is you. You're being genuine and you're putting yourself out there. And that is what marketing is.
Yeah.
So you found your way. That's a great example for everyone here to find their thing. It's hard for me to come up here and say, this is the thing. Well, you know, you got to find your, I'm good at this. I have an in with this. I know that person. I could really generate some, you know, publicity about this. Maybe you have a gallery show just for your, it depends. You got to look at your own situation and figure out what could I market here? What could I be the best at? And George, you said it's your personality and you could we can all tell we want to be at his party.
Yeah. I expect an
One
invite,
day.
George. The
So
pandemic.
what do we
kinda,
all,
you know,
what do we all
waning.
want from all of you? Everybody different here. Find that thing that you're just good at and incorporate that into your marketing.
I got a video question actually.
Yep.
Do you ever get clients asking for full rights on videos, like the raw files?
Yes.
That's
It's a different world.
something.
Yeah, go on.
Mhm. That's something I've been getting lately, where like a client will just ask for all the files so that they can use it down the line. And I'm beginning to realize that like it's a lot of money in those files, you know? So like, how do you navigate that?
Well, unfortunately, video is not controlled in the same way with copyright as still photography. So when we're bidding on a job, there's no usage or copyright ownership on video, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Especially now that photographers are also doing motion. So I wish I had a way to get out of that and change that, but I don't know if that's happening.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It is.
It's
tricky.
very tricky because like on the photo side, it's almost like you can demand more after the fact. But on the
Yes.
video side, like after you do the job, it's there.
Yeah.
But then it's like you have to like resell it almost. And you have to almost be firm with it because you can't just like give away. That's like essentially giving away the whole project. You
The
know, because when
video.
you hire, yeah, because like when you hire a full crew, you know, like you were talking about earlier, you got, you know, shooter, sound, all that stuff. And then they can just get it and repurpose it and resell it and repackage it in another way, just like they would a photograph. But it's going to make them even more money because it's video, right? Not saying the photograph won't make them money, but they'll be able to post it on Instagram a whole bunch, post it on TikTok, post it on the other sites, and just be able to create this rotating, you know, wheel of video.
Othello, can I jump in for a second?
For sure.
What you do is you package that as a complete project as deliverables on each different instance of video cut. And then when they want each different piece of video portion, they pay for each cut for that. And that's how you pay for that.
I assume
You
that
shoot
has
the
to
video,
happen.
You
when
do
you're-
per project based, right? So you do a complete deliverable on your video asset, right? And that's an asset like your photos, like a photo count, right? So if you're delivering 5 photos, you're delivering 1 cut, 2 cuts, maybe it's for Instagram, maybe it's for TikTok, maybe it's for YouTube, right? And you just deliver the project, right? If they want extra access to that footage, that is an extra fee.
But it depends on their terms.
Again,
Right.
and that's how you negotiate the terms, right? So
Right.
if they want extra terms, they want extra video, then that's where you can increase your fee.
Hmm.
And that's in your
Right.
budget fee.
Worth
So
it.
right now,
Good
so
choice.
right now how I have it is I basically charge either 2 times or the amount of what that fee was. So if we charge them, I don't know, $15K to shoot the video, if they want the raws, that's what it's going to cost, right? Because technically they're literally just getting they're just literally getting what we did and finding a way to repurpose it. Now, I don't know if that's right or not. I talked to an agency friend. He said that's what they do. But it's just interesting now that sometimes they almost put it in the contract sometimes without you even noticing it, right? Like, hey, this is what the agency agreed to, so you need to deliver this. But now, since it's not, and I'm beginning to see it more and more, like when I work on bigger projects and I'm just a DP, or if I'm directing it, it's different. But when it's more of a video project and, asset management becomes more of a thing, that's when it's a little bit dicey, because then the agency will just hit you up and say, hey, like, what does it take to get these files? If we have to pay for it, how much is it? Like I'm supposed to just like give it to them.
Just really be clear in your estimate and have it all in there.
Yeah.
And be careful what you're signing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Because we should go. Anybody?
Oh yeah.
Do you think, we got a question. Do you think that the standard perception that they're owning the video rights might start to bleed into stills? Well, video has been around for a long time, but now, right, it's photographers are doing the video. I hope not. We can't let that happen. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. We're good. This is so great. Dun-dun-dun. Thanks, Judy.
Yeah, this is super fun. Thank you all for 2 hours. You guys,
I
this is
know.
amazing.
Yeah, I just say thank you very much for sharing so much with us tonight, and taking so many questions, and giving us a lot to think about. And I'm sure everybody has a to-do list after this. So yeah, we truly appreciate it. And wanted to say thank you for everybody who came out and to join us tonight. Well, came to their screens. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, this event was recorded, and we will be putting it up on our YouTube channel. We usually wait a couple months. But we'll send out a link for that as soon as that's up, and we may just send out a link to people who attended a bit early on, so you can rewatch and catch up on things. Okay.
Cool. Thanks
right.
for having us.
Thank you
Great.
so much. It was really fun.
All right. Thank you, everyone.